you will be in a position to complete the project within the stipulated completion timelines. And one more thing we should know, that all the construction projects are performed, are executed out of the doors. Only one factor, like weather can disrupt your scheduling process. Only one factor. Other factors are there: financial constraints, shortage of the labor, disruption in the supply of the materials, and many more things. So what I have seen in this literature review, that if we are to complete the projects in time, in the allotted or given time, then the whole team has to be proactive rather than reactive. There is a lot of literature available regarding this problem, that what are the factors which actually causes the delay in execution of the project. Some of them I have written over here, like figure ETAL. When I say ETAL means figures and others. Figures and other in 2010 conducted a survey, and ultimately they were of the opinion that these are the delay factors, like delay in honoring certificates, like payment certificates, shortage of material, change in price of raw materials, lack of site management, problem in bank credits. They pointed out these factors, that in their opinion, these are the factors which contribute the delay in execution of the project. Then in 1997, Chen and Kumar SB identified so many factors. But as per the importance of these factors, they pointed out, I have taken here 5 only due to the shortage of the time, that poor supervision and site management, late in decision making, owner interference in the project, change in ground conditions, necessary variation by owners. Then we have another study that was carried out in 1994. It was carried out by Mansky, he says, and others. They said that the permanent constraints faced by the contractor against completed works. Like we have seen in Mohammed Dam, that contractor has executed a lot of works, but he is not being paid. Whatever are the reasons behind, it's an exchange problem or anything else, but contractor, is facing the problem. So he says that is also one of the problems which causes delay in execution of the project. Then we have poor contract management, site situation, improper planning, delay in supply of the materials. They have pointed out that these are the main factors which causes delay in completion of the dam projects. Then in 2016, Ogino pointed out some critical factors like lack of skill of subcontractors. Sometimes the main contractor sublet the contracts. And if he is unable, he is inefficient. The subcontractor, most of the time they are inefficient. So that again, it delays the contracted works. So he has pointed like that. Then shortage of skilled labor, poor site management, shortage of the material, and defective works. The whole data I have taken from the literature available on the internet, and I have analyzed with our situation, which are prevailing in our countries. The next segment of my research topic is, what are the emerging tools to overcome delay in dam projects? This is very interesting. I think this is the new thing for my research work. That is introduction of the digital tools. What are the digital tools and how what are the technologies they use, so that the delay factor can be overcome. So when I searched, I found that there are so many softwares through which we can overcome this delay problem. They are MS Project,
we have already learned in our classes that how it functions, how it works. And then we have the Oracle Primavera P6, Open Plan Professional, Fast Track Schedule, Zoho projects, Workfront, e-resource schedules, Concept Draw, Project Smart Sheets, and many other softwares, packages, and platforms. Now, each of these project schedule software options have different strengths, but they offer the best option for a variety of management needs. From these two, I have taken for discussion, today's discussion. Let's have a little bit discussion between what is the difference between the MS project and the Primavera. Though we had done little bit work on the MS project, we didn't work on the Primavera, but in nutshell we can discuss here that in Primavera, you have no limitations on performance measuring baselines. I remember Mr. Javed Kazi had once questions from the lecturer that, sir, how many times we can change the performance measure baseline? So in MS project, you have the restrictions. If it is so important, so necessary, you can change it once. But in Primavera, you have no limitations. Under the current situation, under the prevailing situation, you can change your PBMs. And other thing is that with Primavera, that the associated expenditures, like training expenditures, like traveling expenditure, you can record these expenditure in the Primavera. But on the other hand, in MS project, there is no provision of recording such expenditures. And above all, the issues of the project and risk factors of the project. You can also record these factors, these issues in the Primavera, but on the other hand, in MS project, there is no provision. Then we have certain techniques. These are actually the techniques: project management, body of knowledge, practice standards for scheduling, agile practices. If I discuss one by one, it will take time, but anyhow, I can explain in few minutes to let you know that what actually these techniques are. First of all, we should understand that these are the techniques, these are the approaches. Okay? Now let's talk about the PMBOK. It actually pertains to the project management, like initiation of the project, planning of the project, execution of the project, controlling of the project, and then in the end, closing of the project. Internationally, the employer prefers to employ those professionals who knows this art, these techniques. They prefer that we should employ those personnel who has the work experience on these techniques. Then we have the practice standards for scheduling. These, this is very much effective tool in making the scheduling of the whole project. This one is very much effective. And then we have the Agile Practice Guide. This is also one of the techniques, one of the good techniques. Through these techniques, this is called the interactive technique. Collaborative techniques. You collaborate with all the parties involved in the execution of the project, and then on the basis of their feedbacks, you prepare the schedule and then execute the project. It works, then it works. So, gentlemen, the last segment of my research paper was that there should be an integrated expert model. Because, you know, when you use any software in isolation, it does not serve. So it was required from our side that there you should introduce a software which should have the integrated approach methodology. Now, before this, a lot of work was done on this aspect. Researchers were of the opinion that if we use the software in isolation, it does not serve the purpose. So they started focusing on another integrated expert model through which different aspects of the project can be covered. And eventually they found or they develop this DSS model. This is called the decision support system. Let's see how it works. The proposed model pursues 4 major objectives, including identifying delayed activities, classification of delays, measuring delays impacts on project scheduling, and calculating damages caused by the delay. Let's see again. Now, how this model works. First of all, you have to sit on, of course, you have to sit on the system and provide the data. When you enter in the first phase of this software, you will find here 2 modules. One module pertains to the information of the project, that what is the name of the project, who is the sponsor of the project, who is the owner of the project, and where the project is located. Things like that. And in the other module, you have to provide the information about the activity you are going to execute, like excavation, like concrete. You have to put the data in this phase. If once you have completed, inserted the data in the first phase, now the system will work automatically. This is the beauty of this system or this software. Now what it does, first of all, in its second phase, it classified the activities. From this I mean that it tells us that whether the activity is independent or whether the activity is concurrent, and above all, whether the delay on part of this activity is because of the contractor, is because of the owner, or because of the third party. This all information you will be having with the usage of this DSS expert model. Then in its third phase, it analyzes that this much time has been delayed. The project has been delayed this much time, like 3 months, 2 months, 6 months. It automatically calculates in its third phase. And its last phase, it calculates the amount of the delayed damages. That you have delayed this activity for the 6 months. Now the overall impact of this project activity on the project is like this. So I think, in my opinion, if we utilize, if we apply, if we make this applicable to our mega projects like dams, then I think this problem of delay in execution these projects can be covered. 80–90% we can cover this application of this software. In the end, I have the conclusion and recommendation based on the review of all the literature. What I have found that there were 80–90 factors, but prominent of them are delay in supply of material, natural disasters, inaccurate time and cost estimations, dispute at site, high transportation costs, inexperienced contractors, rapid changes in design and change in specifications, delay in acquisition of requisite land. This is the main factor as we are facing at the Dasu hydropower project. Then certainly I have some recommendations like sufficient material should be stored on construction site to overcome cause of delay in supply of material. Natural disasters, we cannot control, but at least we can mitigate the impact of these natural disasters through proper arrangements in floods and in heavy rains area. We can mitigate the impact of these havocs. Sufficient funding. This is also the main important thing. That sufficient funds should be approved and allocated for dam projects to avoid financial difficulties faced by the contractor. And it's necessary that coordination between labor and management should be good to overcome disputes on site. Well-experienced and qualified engineer should be appointed for proper management at site. Contract of construction of dam projects should be allotted on merit and to experienced contractors. In the end, we have frequent and rapid design changes should be avoided to overcome rapid changes in design, to overcome the wrong time estimation. It is necessary to keep sufficient data of site, and sufficient data should be investigated, because most of the time we have seen that we estimate that Mohammed Dam will be completed in 3 years. Based on the data available, we do not bother even to have as much as possible data. So when you estimate the project timing wrongly, then it impacts. So we have to be very much careful while estimating the cost as well as the completion time of any project, especially the dam projects. Then a skilled labor should be hired by paying them good rates to avoid shortage of skilled labor problems. These are some references from which I have taken this data we have shared with you and prepared the research report. And in the end, I thank you very much. This was
Sir, based on this study, if you have to list out in order the top 3 reasons for the delay in Wapda projects, what would be those 3 reasons? Top 3 reasons.
Yeah, very good question. First of all, first and foremost thing is your financial close. Before the start of any project, you have to manage the financial close of the project. As you see in what sort of the problem we are facing in the Mohammed Dam. This is the currently we are executing. We have no money to pay the contractor. And against the executed works, we are not in a position to make them payment. So first of all, the first and foremost, before taking into hand any project, you should arrange the financial close of that project as much as you can at least. And then this is the pre-starting of the project. Then if you start the project, then there's land acquisition. Because it is mandatory on part of the employer that he has to provide the access to the site of work. If you will not provide them, like we are facing in DASU project, we were standing still for almost 2 to 3 years. We couldn't work over there due to the lack of acquisition of the land. So these things, and most important then, that your criteria, pre-qualification criteria for these, especially these specialized projects like dams, pre-qualification criteria has to be prepared like that, so that experienced contractor be qualified only. They have the much experience, they have the relevant experience, so that they can come and execute the project. In my opinion, I think if you follow these 2, 3.
Can you name
one person?
बड़ी ज़बरदस्त जो स्थिति और मॉडल थी सर, हमें बताएं कि कुछ पॉसिबल डिलीवरी काजेज होते हैं प्रोजेक्ट में, वो आपने हाईलाइट नहीं किए।
Sorry?
जो पॉसिबल होते हैं, मतलब पता होता है कि ये काजेज आएंगे
मसलन
प्रोजेक्ट पे, वो आपने
मसलन I couldn't get your point.
मसलन आप
फाइनेंशियल क्लोजर वगैरह जो पॉसिबल
होते हैं
Land acquisition.
When I said that you have to arrange the financial close, but at least you are in a position, or you should be in a position to have as much as you can. As much, I would say. No doubt we are the poor country, we can't arrange the whole financial close, but at least we should not, because of the financial constraint, there should be no disruption in execution of the work. At least keeping in view the cash flows, which you had mentioned in your qualification criteria. What is the qualification criteria? You just pinpoint to the contractor that for the 4 months, 3 months, if Wapda is unable to pay you, there should be the payment with you. So we should have an idea that we have given this deadline. For 4 months he will survive, but after that it will have the repercussions. So you have to arrange accordingly.
Thank you.
I have
where the project in compared to Pakistan has been delayed, as you mentioned in the presentation that these projects have already been delayed out of Pakistan.
Yes, there are so many examples in
Any
Indonesia.
project, yes.
In Indonesia, in India, if you
Which
Google,
project?
if you Google if you Google on the internet, you will find in Indonesia, in Malaysia, like even these small projects of the construction projects,
What
they
type
were
of
delayed.
project? Which project? Name the project.
Because they were the construction projects, not the dam projects, so I didn't focused mainly on them. But I can tell you that this construction of the big projects is not the problem of the Pakistan only. Actually delays in every part of the country, but at least I'm not in a position to let you know the specific dam in Indonesia or Malaysia, but the construction work in Malaysia, because Malaysia is known as the construction industry, civil works. That so many reasons of the causes, and they face the causes.
अच्छा ये आपने एक अपनी रिपोर्ट में क्वेश्चनर का जिक्र किया है, ये प्रेजेंटेशन आपने कहीं नहीं जिक्र किया इसका।
नहीं सर वो I have deleted it.
तो रिपोर्ट में तो मेंशन किया हुआ है, तो कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन आ गई। इसको या तो फिर सेट करें या एक जगह तो कहीं आगे पीछे करें ना। ये
Initially I was looking for that, but so when I got the sufficient material from the literature review, then I
इसमें रिपोर्ट में तो जिक्र है। चलिए ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच। इसको फिर सही करें।
deleted.